Hello everyone and welcome back. Today marks our final content lecture series for social studies, and I'm glad you've stayed with me until the end. Whether you've been following these lectures week by week or are here for a last-minute marathon, I hope you find these sessions useful for your revision and understanding. In this first video, we'll focus on how globalization has impacted security, particularly through the issue of terrorism. We'll look at how terrorism has changed in our interconnected world, examine some key examples, and consider both the international and local responses. To start, let's understand how terrorism has evolved with globalization. Previously, most terrorist groups operated only within their own countries. However, with advances in technology and transportation, they can now act on a global scale. This makes it much harder to prevent attacks, as threats can come from either within a nation or from abroad. Terrorists often target civilians to create fear, and because they operate secretly, it is almost impossible to identify them before they act. This makes prevention an enormous challenge for any country. Technology has provided terrorist groups with powerful new tools. Today they use social media and encrypted messaging apps to communicate across borders, spread extremist propaganda, radicalize new members, and even transfer funds. The internet allows them to coordinate complex operations and reach a worldwide audience without needing to meet in person or cross physical boundaries. The most significant example of such transnational terrorism was the September 11th attacks in 2001. Al-Qaeda, an extremist group, hijacked passenger planes and crashed them into the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, killing over 3,000 people. The scale and impact of this attack shocked the world and fundamentally changed how countries view security and terrorism. In response, the United States and many other nations strengthened their security measures. Sensitive information was removed from public access, and strategies for counter-terrorism were upgraded. The US invaded Afghanistan to dismantle al-Qaeda, and eventually Osama bin Laden, the leader behind 9/11s, was located and killed. Al-Qaeda's motivations included opposing US influence in the Middle East and seeking to establish a global Islamic government by violent means. Their ability to exploit technology and globalization allowed them to plan and fund attacks across continents. It's important to note that while terrorist groups often claim religious justification, their actions are widely condemned, especially by those who truly follow the teachings of their faith. Unfortunately, the violent acts of extremist groups have also led to a rise in Islamophobia, unfair discrimination and hate crimes against innocent Muslims who have no connection to terrorism. This is a tragic side effect, as it spreads division and suspicion within societies. Turning to Singapore, we are not immune to terrorism. Our history includes incidents such as the 1965 McDonald House bombing, when Indonesian Marines set off a bomb during the period of konfrontasi. There was the Laju incident, where terrorists hijacked a vessel, and the only hijacking of a Singapore Airlines flight SQ-117, which was quickly resolved by our security forces. The most serious threat came in 2001, when the Jamaah Islamiyah group connected to al-Qaeda planned attacks on several local targets. Thankfully, the Internal Security Department discovered the plot in time and prevented disaster. Even though Singapore has not suffered a major terrorist attack, we remain a potential target, especially as a major city in a globalized world. Today, the biggest threat comes from self-radicalization. This is when individuals, exposed to extremist content online, become so influenced that they act on their own, without direct contact with any terrorist group. These lone wolf attacks are extremely hard to predict and prevent. The digital world makes it easier for propaganda to reach individuals, and unfortunately, cases of self-radicalization have occurred both here and overseas. We've covered a lot on how terrorism and security have changed in the age of globalization. In the next video, we'll look at another major security challenge that comes with globalization and digital technology: cybersecurity.